Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for Northern Ag TV. Well, over the weekend, the 10% tariffs on all goods imports went into effect, and the reciprocal tariffs on individual countries will go into effect this Wednesday, April 9th. China has already responded to the additional 34% tariff that Trump placed on the country. China now imposed a 81% tariff on U.S. pork exports and 56% on U.S. beef. USMEF President and CEO Dan Halstrom says that this creates a big challenge for U.S. beef and pork, as the U.S. already faces big obstacles related to plant eligibility and already high duties.
Obviously, this is a real concern for USMEF and our industry and our members around the possible retaliation from trading partners. It is our hope that this will not happen, that things can get worked out in a relatively short order. But in the meantime, what we need to do, we USMEF and the industry, we need to keep our eye on the ball and continue to market U.S. beef and pork globally.
The United States Meat Export Federation reported that China accounted for 15% of total U.S. pork export volume last year and 14% of total beef export volume. While water rights and capital gains tax were the big topics that bills covered this last week at the Capitol. Key agricultural bills included SB 358, which was opposed by Montana Farm Bureau due to concerns over water rights prioritizing subdivisions over agriculture, leading to its rejection. HB 868 introduced a tiered capital gains tax, potentially benefiting farmers at lower levels but negatively impacting those selling long-term assets. MFB supported HB 886, which creates divisional water courts to improve water dispute resolutions. Other continuing bills included predator control laws, including goats, banning the sale of lab-grown meat in Montana, requiring the FWP to notify before releasing large predators, and exempting ag property from open space levies. The Wyoming Livestock Board sent out a memo yesterday informing Wyoming producers that the board will not be receiving an additional allotment of EID tags from the USDA in fiscal year 2025. Vets, livestock markets, and producers can order EID tags and must provide a premises ID when ordering. And just a quick reminder here that the deadline for your ag risk and price loss coverage programs is right around the corner on April 15th. We'll be back with the markets right after the break.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
The livestock markets were hit hard on Friday, leading to expanded limits in Monday's trade. The fear is the impact on demand after China hit back with 56% tariffs on beef imports. China accounted for 14% of total U.S. beef export volume last year and 15% of export value. High prices could impact beef demand, but cattle supplies remain tight, and that isn't going to change anytime soon. The session on Monday did end up with $2 to $3 losses across the entire board. Calves sold steady to higher on all classes of calves in Dickinson last Thursday. A big run of heavy 400-pound steer calves sold for $446, 6 to 620 pounders at $368. Heifers with a bit more flesh were in higher demand at this sale, with the heavy 800-pounders at $263 and heavy 6s at $301. And the Midland Bull Test Angus Day wrapped up last week. Bulls this year averaged $6,778 a head, and Lot 112 topped the sale for $35,500. The wheat market didn't have much movement on Monday, but the contracts did close in the green. There are worries about future export sales in regards to the tariffs. Nonetheless, traders are supported by weather concerns and ongoing dryness in hard red winter wheat areas. That's it for Northern Ag TV. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.